merciful Umberly, hear our prayer. Flood the world with your word. Subsume us utterly.
Umberly hears us and rejoices!
Sing, sisters. Sing in Umberly's name. Praise her for this moment.
Feel the joy of Umberly lap against your soul.
Would that everyone knew the Wave Mother's favor.
Glorious Wave Mother, pour fury upon the
I long for such a beautiful death!
Leave its master, a bloated
Oh, Umberly, hear us. Umberly, bring...
Rejoice, as the... Rejoice, sisters, for Umberly has blessed her humble daughter with a pure death. Her lips blue with her kiss, her lungs full of her quenching word. Umberly's mercy saved her from a slow, sinking death in the beast's shadow. How dare this beast sully the safety of Grey Harbor? We will find its master and send him struggling into the bitch queen's embrace. Not a sweet sleep like Holly's, but a suffocating flood of fruitless gasps and bursting flesh. You, supplicant, what tribute do you bring to honor the Wave Mother's fallen daughter? Yes. Then you know as well as Umberly that blood must soon be shed. Your tribute is well received. Breathe deep as she permits. Yes. Thank the Wave Mother. Blessed Umberly saw fit to spare her an ignoble death. But her passing was not as the Wave Mother intended. It was a beast who took her life. An unnatural one whose very existence is an affront to Umberly. A wretched metal monstrosity hewn by hubris. A rusting pollutant that bleeds black blood into Umberly's pristine waters. The beast struck Holly while she was swimming in Grey Harbor. She was found by some fishermen. She would have suffered a terrible, agonizing death had Umberly not bestowed upon her the mercy of drowning. The Queen of the Depths is generous to those who serve her, and her favor is far less deadly than her wrath. Find the master of this poisonous beast and slay him. Then one of her most precious gifts shall be yours. We haven't found its lair as yet. Perhaps you can find where the beast takes its slumber and skewer it before it wakes. That privilege is not yours to earn. Salt kiss your brow. We await your return and the Beastmaster's demise. Furious and merciful. Is it done? The beast struck Holly. We haven't found its lair as yet. Holly was swimming in Grey Harbor as we... Sing, sisters. Sing in Umberly's name. Praise her for this most holy death. Glorious Wave Mother, pour fury upon the beast responsible for this injustice. Leave its master, a bloated carcass in the spume. Rejoice, as the Wave Mother welcomes another daughter to the deep wilds. Know that we too shall gladly follow when our time has come.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Metal monster. I was swimming in Grey Harbor. Big, fast, hit my head. Everything went black. I was swimming. I was attacked. Just black blood everywhere.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
There's nothing for you up here, Flotsam. Back down. You'd better have a very good offering in hand if you're being this much of a...
That's curious.
I don't like this conversation at all.
I'm telling you, a Sahuagin stole my bait.
What's a swag, Gugin?
A shark person, them. They don't play nice. If they're right about the Swahagan, I may take up another line of work.
You hear these mooks trying to tell me about fishing? I've been fishing here all my life.
But the others think I don't know shit, but I do. I do know shit. I think I'm afraid of swallow-gins.
Salty breeze. Swallowed a load of water, woke up with a blood tide standing over me. What do you mean? How about yours?
Just think what could have happened.
Guess what?
You look lost. The stairs behind you will take you back up to the temple. All right?
Able to save her. Maybe she would have still been alive. You shouldn't be down here. This place is off limits to lay people.
You've set foot in a restricted area. A swift...
I don't like this conversation at all.
Leave its master, a bloated carcass in the spume.
Flowers are so overrated. They're bright, gaudy, and almost never make good poisons.
Wait to show off the scar to a friend.
Each their own, I suppose. Although I am right.
When she was little, I couldn't wait for it. Beautiful day, isn't it?
There's no cure for a broken heart, but a bit of sunlight.
Do you ever think we should have had another one?
Doesn't matter what we think now. It would have broken us back then.
But if we'd only made the effort, if we'd only pushed through.
I know, love. I think about it too.
Tash isn't going to find out about this, is he? I don't fancy the look of those prisoners.
If Gortash doesn't want to pay us fair, then we're well in our rights to look out for ourselves.
Horrible about that one. Could barely see through 10 days.
Couldn't wait to show off the scar to her friends at school.
Welcome to Lady Janeth's celebration of the arts. Decidedly not. I have more to do with dust brushes than paint brushes. I am Lady Janeth's butler. Lady Janeth is a dedicated patron of the arts. She doesn't care for status or wealth, human or dragonborn. If you have talent, she'll nurture it. Today's event is a public showing of many fine pieces she has commissioned.
I don't know how Mr. Lamont does it. Standing out there all day.
Private estate of the Honourable Janeth family.
Lacks house, doesn't she?
I wouldn't stand for it under my... Enjoy the party, milady.
It's rather hard to appreciate this piece when you keep interrupting.
Pack your things. You're no longer a member of this staff.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mercer. It was an accident.
You've shamed House Janeth and me for the last time, Bailey. You're awkward, slow, and your tunic is buttoned wrong. Who the blazes... Ah, sorry, sir, but this is a staff area. Whatever a guest might need is available downstairs. No, of course not. You're right to reproach me. I shall give Bailey here another chance. This guest's concern has earned you another chance, Bailey. I'm sure you're grateful.
Oh, yes, thank you, sir. And I promise not to drop any more cutlery, Chamberlain. Does Mr. Lamonis know about... Oh, thanks for stepping in. One day I'll wipe that smile off his smug face. But not today. I need this job. You're one of the collectors from downstairs, I suppose. As you're up here, you might be interested in the atelier. Lady Janeth keeps some of her finest works up there, ready for a private viewing, if you catch my meaning. Oh, but you never heard it from me.
You've wandered into a forbidden area. You sense it might be time to leave. Congratulations, you've convinced them to give... You've been seen re-entering a forbidden area. Apparently it's becoming rather tight.
A new face. How one. Please, enjoy the day. Just Don't touch anything. Ah, you're a fellow collector. I see no harm in that. I've a few pieces gathering dust.
how's life in the kitchens?
Piece of cake. I'll just turn up and chop what I... If you're hungry.
Just a bit of harmless workplace gossip, but...
Jonathan, make you a lady's maid.
Oh, I've given up.
Let's see what you're hiding. Be quiet.
Yeah, fair enough.
No small talk in the kitchen.
You shouldn't disturb painters at their easels, and you shouldn't disturb chefs. Art requires focus.
More to offer than standing guard all day. Chamberlain, maybe.
Very good. Yes, Katalya keeps her rather lax, doesn't she?
I wouldn't stand for it under my roof, lazy little serf. Don't you know not to interrupt?
I'd recognize those mischievous eyes anywhere. The great... You must be here incognito, scouting new talent.
I believe it's your turn.
Seen anything?
I came all the way from the upper city for this little viewing of hers, and she's holding back on us. I know for a fact she has an original Yaps word hidden away. I've seen it.
Say that again, you peasant!
That's rich coming from you. Or rather, it isn't.
That's it! Outside! We settle this. Give me back my gold. I spent half my fortune on that bloody painting of yours!
As well you should have, because it isn't a counterfeit.
Then you leave me no choice, sir. We settle this outside, now!
Certainly not the...
Perhaps I should speak to Mr. Nemonis about a promotion.
Very.
You're making a big mistake, Garan. This ends only one way.
With you paying me back. Say you'll return the money, and we could...
Oh, good. An audience come to witness your stupidity.
Stop trying to distract me and prepare yourself. We begin on my sea.
Garan here can't tell a fake painting from a real one. And he'd rather die than admit it.
Oh, ridiculous! I'd know a fake from half a furlong away.
Then why did you buy it from me in the first place, you insufferable idiot?
Because that's not the point. You sold me a fake, and you're going to pay for it. If not in gold, then in blood. We begin. You should have paid me back, Delaware. It would have been cheaper. Everybody saw. The duel was of Lord Delware's making, not mine.
wait for this shift to end.
I find it best to refuse.
Tash, he's a man who'll see sense. I came all the way from the upper city for this little viewing of hers, and she's holding back on us.
It is splendid to see you again, my friend. If you hadn't saved me from that mob, I'd be penning a guide to the afterlife based on first-hand experience. Perhaps you would hazard a guess as to why the mob turned on me? It is not the eyes that I fear, it is the intelligence behind them. The Absolute is merely the outward form of something far more insidious. The Lord of Murder has returned. As he did 100 years ago, Baal has set his accursed sights on Baldur's Gate. And his temple runs red with the blood of the innocent. Oren is his chosen. And like Sarevok before her, she is able to take on the savage form of the Slayer. If the Slayer is not stopped, it will slaughter every living thing in this city. As one of those things, I'm particularly eager to stop it. And there is a way. I have a study of the beast, penned by the wizard Irenicus himself. It contains all the knowledge needed to slay the Slayer. Now I just need a brave adventurer, willing to face Baal's chosen, and to put the knowledge into practice. Wonderful! I can scarcely think of anyone more suitable. It will serve you well. A study of the Slayer, penned by John Irenicus. It's one of a kind, so do try to keep it away from the inevitable bloodbath, hmm? The Dream Eater. It is said the children of Baal are claimed throughout their sleep, ever disturbed by visions of a life of bloodshed and terror. Once they have seen too much, once these dreams drive their minds to break, they are beset by the Slayer. It is a beast of unspeakable violence that consumes all in its path, including the soul of the one who is host to it. A genius, exiled from his home in the elven paradise of Soldanessala, when he attempted to seize the power of life itself,
He instead turned his magnificent mind to murder on a grand scale. That is how he came to crave the power of the Baal spawn. He saw them not as living things, but as tools for his own machinations. In the end, though Irenicus took the form of the Slayer for himself, it was a Baal spawn who thwarted him, the same that saved Baldur's Gate. Quite so. I was rather hoping you'd gathered all the rest of the adventuring paraphernalia yourself. You'll need every advantage. I am a living witness to Baal's defeat those 100 years ago. So I know your battle against him is not futile. He can be stopped, but not all of those who stood against him survived. And those who did were never the same again. I wish you luck, my friend. And I hope that when I see you again, you'll be in one piece. 2 or 3 at most. Whatever happens next, be sure that I will document it all as accurately as possible.
It was good for me. Was it good for you? I thought as much. You moaned like a dragon thrice struck with a broadsword. You turned the pain of the damned into impossible pleasure. You'll never be the same. The 9 hells of Beator. Each its own domain, each with its own archdevil to rule it. I call the first hell my home, Avernus, my mistress Zariel's realm, a torrid battleground split by the bloody waters of the Styx. How I adore it, the delicious agony of it all. The other 8, well, they are pleasures unto themselves. I pity those who can never know them. copper for your thoughts. Special tadpole? Bit of a contradiction in terms, don't you think? I don't even want a regular one. You're talking about turning into what? A half squid? Not surprised you haven't tried it yourself yet.
Thank the gods.
Well, are we ready for the road once more? Ask it. It was Baal alone we faced in our time. And bad as that was, he had no elder brain for a lapdog then. Help won't come from the history books, or from any old tales I can spin you. This is your story to write. There. Have I fulfilled my role as your wise and wizened elder? Don't tell me which. Against all life experience, I will choose to assume the best. Well, are we ready? Ask it. More than I would like. In my youth, I was a brief and very much unwilling member of a colony's hive mind. I felt the way they think, saw the world as they do. Foul, unnatural creatures who find the foulness in us and twist it to their will. But then, who am I speaking to? You have far more experience than I. Do not be moved to pity. It is, and if it wriggles free, you'll find it still has teeth. Well, ask it. I've learned not to unpick the legends so many have woven around our name. Seeing the hope die in a romantic's eyes, it is only funny the first few dozen times. Some call the Harpers heroes. Others, petty meddlers who cannot help but stick their nose into every conflict they stumble across. The truth is in there somewhere. We try to work towards a common balance. If every other faction finds us equally annoying, that is probably a sign that we are succeeding. I will not bore you with a long tale. The short. I was born to a high family in Tedir. I remember little except that when my family fell, they fell far and fast. I learned young what fear and hunger make desperate people do. I learned to do some of it myself even. Until a roving circle of hedge druids found me. They raised me in the wild. But when it became clear I was perhaps not suited to a life of idle reflection, I was sent to the Harpers. To do. They showed me how to fight with sword, as well as spell, and gave me ample causes to wield them for. If I was not always the truest believer in every cause, well, I fell in love with someone who was. And that is almost the same thing. No, not really. Ha! No. No, thank you. Let the wiser members of my order wrinkle their brows over that particular phrase. In all my years fighting for the Harpers, I am still never certain what the greater good means. I've learned to be content with, well, that was not so bad as it might have been. You might say that. I left their service and swore never to return. Multiple times, if I recall. It is easy to get tired of the intrigue. The high causes shrouded in secrecy. I thought I might find another way to be of use to the world. And for a time I did. But my comrades would use a rather irritating phrase. A harper never leaves the chorus. She simply goes to spread the song. Meaning that whatever cause I turned my hand to, there I would find them. Harpers, stuffed with their own virtue, but always there. Always trying to help. So I returned to the fold. Returned to the city. Eventually they hung a title around my neck. High Harper. And I still do not know how to play one. If I tried to spare Geraldos the same headaches, well, now you know why. And if he is half the Harper I suspect, it won't make a damned bit of difference. But you're staring. Which means the tadpole has finally eaten your brain. Or have I been talking too much? Either way, time to move, no? You speak of a battle more than a century past. Baal's minions led us through a maze in the Undercity, older than Baldur's Gate itself. We paid little mind to the path ahead, let alone how we might return, or that we would return at all. Still, the Undercity shifts. We might search down there. Or better yet, find a ballast to lead us.
Keeping very well, I hope? Look after my angel, of course. She's been through more than I can bear to think about. 100 years in the Shadowfell. 100 years being murdered by Sharans over and over. It fills me with a rage I can hardly contain. She's a formidable woman, my Aelin. But no one could escape such horrors unscathed. She's in my hands now, and I intend to help her through whatever's to come. We'll both of us stand by you when the time comes to put down the horror that threatens this city. We are your allies, for life. I mourn the man I knew. He was wonderful. He raised me to serve Selûne as my mother, rest her soul, had wished. He was everything to me, all my life. When an emissary of Selûne came to our little town, we were elated. Dame Aelin, daughter of the Moon Maiden herself. This was different. It was like I could see my fate in her eyes. Lucky for me, she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aelin is immortal, after all. I understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aelin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. Then... and this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how, why, but all was black, black, black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped. He told me we'd be together now. Said Aelin was dead. I couldn't speak. Could only run. I found last light within the shadows, made a shelter there, prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jahira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors that plagued my home. He's gone now. But I suppose the man I knew died when I died. The man he became, that wasn't the father I knew. The one I loved so very much.
Come to bask in the glow of the moon. I am free from my bonds, but not my... You must face them. I will help.
Catch a faint odor, one without any discernible source. Wet ash, dried mud, and a hint of sulfur. Mizora channeled the hell's essence into you. You'll never be rid of their scent.
I hope. I pray that you'll show more care in the future. I'm up for the challenge. You've just got to make a little space. Keep safe.
All's well, I hope, aside from the obvious.
Let's talk. Sorry, but there's no room I like how you think.
The pride of the gate.
No time to rest.
The dog is unable to speak through the small bag he holds.
I don't know. All I know is I thought of you when I saw it.
I wasn't expecting it. A bit crowded, don't you think? You'll need to swap out. Wonderful.